My name's Susan Muty, and I am currently the president of the CPIT. I'm going to share my screen, and I hope you'll be able to confirm that you can see it. Is that okay? Okay. As I said, I'm the president of the CPIT, which is the pension fund for conference interpreters and translators. We were founded as a pension fund for conference interpreters and translators, but as you'll see from my explanation later on, we have since expanded the membership considerably to cover people who work not only in the international organizations, but in the private sector for businesses, and to cover all language professionals. There. I thought I'd start, since most of you are not Swiss, I imagine, by explaining the framework within which, the legal framework within which the CPIT functions. The CPIT is a foundation under Swiss private law. We are governed by Swiss legislation, notably the Swiss Civil Code and the Occupational Retirement Survivors and Disability Act. The Swiss social security system has three pillars. The first pillar is federal state social security, which is obligatory and where employers and employees contribute. The second pillar is the occupational pillar. It is employer connected. It is also obligatory for all employees, and employees and employers contribute to what are basically employer pension funds. The CPIT functions within the second pillar framework. It's one of those pension funds set up especially for people who do not have permanent employers and therefore make all the contributions themselves. And the third pillar is private investment accounts or retirement savings with banks or pension institutions. Our overriding aim is to protect our members against the risks of old age, disability, and death. To that effect, we offer a number of benefits. We are open to all language professionals worldwide, not only those who work for intergovernmental organizations. And as I said earlier, we have recently expanded membership access to all language professionals. We know that within our professions, people often work as an interpreter for a while, maybe as a translator, then I get a contract as a terminologist. And we recently changed our statute so that we can accept language professionals who work as terminologists, report writers, editors. We, especially translators, perform a lot of different functions, and we like to have members from all those different professions. We have around 500 active and retired members. We have over 60 million Swiss francs in invested assets. We were founded over 40 years ago, so we have 40 years of experience as a pension fund. As I said, we offer a number of benefits. First and foremost, retirement benefits. You can take retirement benefits as a member in the form of a lifetime annuity. That is that between the ages of 60 and 70, you choose to retire and you can draw a pension that is paid monthly, quarterly, or annually, depending on what you choose. Or you can opt to withdraw all your accrued savings as a lump sum, or a combination of the two. You can take 50% of your savings as a pension, or 50% and 50% as a lump sum. We realized at one point that in our profession, people tend to work until the age of 70. It's not uncommon. And they gradually wind down their professional activities the closer they get to the age of 70. And so we offer the possibility of partial retirement. As of the age of 60, you can decide to draw, for example, 50% of your pension, but continue contributing until you reach the age at which you've decided to retire. And at that point, draw a full pension. We offer disability insurance. You are automatically signed up for the disability insurance when you join the CPIT. This is coverage in the event of long-term illness or injury that prevents you from earning a living, earning an income. The pension is calculated on the basis of what you contributed in the previous 3 years, the highest amount. I'll give you a concrete example. Let's say in year 1, you contributed 10,000 francs. In year 2, you contributed 20,000. In year 3, you contributed 10,000. In year 4, you lost your ability to earn an income. Your disability pension will amount to 150% of the amount you contributed in the year that you contributed the most, that is year 2. That means that until you reach retirement age, you will be paid 30,000 francs a year in the form of a disability pension. And until you reach retirement age, the CPIT will continue to pay your contributions based on what you paid the year before the disability occurred. So, for example, in the example I gave you, the CPIT, until you retire, would pay 10,000 francs a year towards your pension benefits until you reach the statutory retirement age of 65. That way, you continue to accrue benefits in accordance with what you had planned when you first joined the pension fund. You won't fall short when you reach retirement age. In the event of death, for members who pass away before they reach retirement age, their accrued savings go to their designated beneficiaries. And in the event of a death occurring after the retirement age, members are free to choose to leave a pension to their widow or widower at a rate that they decide on retirement. As a pension fund, the CPIT is recognized by the United Nations system and by the European and coordinated institutions. That means that you can have your contributions to the fund deducted from your wages or salary and paid directly to your account with the CPIT. You don't have to do the calculations yourselves and make the payments yourselves, although you can choose to do so if you want. As I said earlier, we welcome members of all nationalities, regardless of their country of residence. New members under 30 years of age are exempted from the payment of administrative fees for a maximum of 2 years. We introduce this provision to encourage young people to join. We know that it can be difficult for them to make the decision because they probably are earning less than more experienced members of the profession. But it is important to join some sort of pension fund as early as possible because it takes a lot of savings to accrue enough money to have a decent income when you do retirement. And speaking from the voice of experience, retirement creeps up much more quickly than you would imagine when you're starting out in the profession. And as I said earlier, all language professionals can join, interpreters, translators, reporters who do verbatim reports, editors, proofreaders, copy editors. We are open to anyone who works with languages. As a pension fund, the CPIT is adapted to the way we work as freelancers. We know that in 1 year you may earn more than you did the year before, or you may earn less than you did the year before. You decide how much you contribute each year based on how much you have earned that year once you have paid the administrative costs. The CPIT is managed by colleagues. I am one of 7 members of the Foundation Council. We are all volunteers. We are all colleagues. We're all interpreters or translators. We work in complete transparency without excessive red tape. And we pay, because we're all volunteers, there are no salaries. We pay no salaries, and we are accountable to no shareholders. We are accountable only to our members. We pay no dividends. That means that all the money that we earn on our investments ultimately accrues to the benefit of the entire community of members. We're not, as volunteers, necessarily experts in all aspects of pension fund management, and we are therefore assisted by asset managers. These are currently Pictet Asset Management. Pictet is a private Swiss bank that has an asset management branch, and UBS. We have an operational manager, Swiss Life Pension Services, that takes care of the nitty-gritty day-to-day aspects of pension fund management, receiving contributions, drawing up members' certificates at the end of every year, assessing new membership applications, calculating pensions, answering questions, all these sorts of things that have to be done on a daily basis. We also have investment advisors. This is Lucenti Partners, also based in Switzerland, who provide us with advice on what sectors we should be investing in and to what extent we should be investing in them. I now come to the somewhat less pleasant aspect of the presentation, which is the costs. Every pension fund has costs. We have to pay external auditors. We have to pay supervisory authorities. Switzerland has an extremely thorough, very rigid system of supervision, and it costs an obligatory amount every year. We have to pay actuarial experts who have to draw up a number of reports every year on how we function. We have to pay the operational manager. We have to pay our investment advisors. A pension fund's costs can be paid in one of two ways, either through deductions from members' contributions or through deductions in the returns earned on investments. Either way, the member ends up paying the costs. We opted for an entirely transparent financing model where you know exactly how much you pay to the last centime. So, for example, if you contributed 10,000 francs in a year, you will pay 50 francs per month towards administrative costs, and you will never pay any more than that. That amount is invariable. 7% is deducted to finance the disability insurance, which means that 8,700 francs is paid into your individual account. At the end of the year, we see how much we've earned over the course of the year in investments. And if we earned enough in interest, we will credit your account retroactively with interest for the year. Your assets are protected. What this means is that, let's say you had 8,700 francs, those 8,700 francs in your account. If the markets drop by 14% at the end of the year, which is what happened in 2022 after Russia invaded Ukraine, your savings will not drop by 14%. Your savings remain unaffected. The CPIT as a fund has to take measures to rebuild its invested assets by changing the conversion rates, by not paying interest for a year or two, by using some of the provisions it has created to that effect. But the value of your retirement savings remains unaffected. So that's the basics of what I wanted to tell you today. We're here if you have any questions. I know that there's a question and answer session at the end of the presentations. I must apologize in advance because I will have to leave the meeting at 11. If some questions occur to you later, you can always write to cpit@slps.ch. The questions will be forwarded to us, or you will receive a direct answer from our operational managers. We also have a website, cpit.ch, in English and in French. It has an extensive FAQ section, and it contains all the documents on the CPIT. I hope I haven't blindsided you with too much information. I look forward to answering your questions tout à l'heure. Thank you.
So much.